What should I do if my child is not sensitive to colors? I once met a parent who complained to me that her son could not distinguish colors at all. She said, "I taught him the color red several times, but he still called the red ball green. Is he colorblind?" Have you ever had similar thoughts? Once, the mother was anxious and asked her child with a red building block, "What color is this?" The child frowned and answered timidly, "Green." The mother was anxious. "Why do you always get it wrong? You just learned the color red yesterday. Didn't you listen at all?" The child's eyes darkened instantly and he dared not speak again. The mother was so angry that she threw the building blocks aside and felt powerless. At this time, I said to her, "Forcing him to recognize colors like this will only make him more afraid. He will begin to think that colors are a problem, not a fun." She was a little stunned and asked me, "What should I do? He is just insensitive and can't remember no matter how I teach him." In fact, the child is not insensitive, but has not yet found his world of colors. I told her a little story. There was a child who was always confused about colors. One day, he was playing in the garden and suddenly pointed to a flower and said, "Mom, this flower is so beautiful." The mother asked him, "Do you know what color this is?" The child thought about it and smiled and said, "This is the color of the sun." At that time, the mother realized that in the eyes of the child, colors are not as simple as red, yellow, and blue, but his feelings about the world. After listening to my story, the mother changed her way. She no longer used building blocks to test the child, but took him to the park for a walk, looking at different flowers and leaves together, and discussing their colors. Slowly, the child began to say, "Mom, this leaf has a little yellow edge. Is it about to fall off?" You see, he began to be sensitive to colors in nature. Later, one day, the mother called me excitedly and told me he took the initiative to pick up the paintbrush today and painted a red bird. He also told me that this red is the most passionate color. The child began to love colors because he was no longer afraid. He discovered the beauty of colors in his experience. So, if the child is not sensitive to colors, don't worry and don't force him. Give him a colorful world and let him feel it slowly in life. You will find that the color is in his heart, and it only takes a little time to discover it. This process is not about immediately distinguishing the victory of red or green, but about letting him find the meaning of color in his own way. Are you willing to give him this opportunity?